Alright, I think we're live now. Let me just quickly inform the world of this amazing information. Okay. Okay. We're live. We're live. We have been live for 20 seconds. Okay, great. Welcome everyone to episode 31, Flood Cinema, the Brosnan Special, part 2, the finale of the retrospective of Brosnan's tenure as 007. Bit of a rough second half, I must say, in parts. And I'm joined again by John and my lovely co-host Jack.
Hello.
And yeah, we're here to discuss The World Is Not Enough and Die Another Day. I guess we can just get straight into it because we don't have to do the preamble of explaining the whole Brosnan era or anything at this point. We can do like conclusions at the end, I guess.
He's comfortable at this point. He's in.
Yeah. So The World Is Not Enough. I really liked this one. I thought this was probably my second favorite of the four. It was a lot of fun. It was just like a relatively straightforward plot. Just bad guys trying to blow something up, which I liked, and it just gave Brosnan room to do his thing. You have, your very beautiful ladies. You've got some good action scenes with like a bit of a twist to them, and it's just, I thought it was just like a very solid like workman's James Bond film. Is basically my impression. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's a Pierce Brosnan James Bond, so it's fun.
Yeah. Well.
I think as they got into this movie, like the intro, another good intro in this movie, right? Like that was a good the intro action scene, the Bond intro kind of thing, right? About a 15 or so intro, really good. I liked that one particular. Yeah, I don't know. I like the boat. I really like the little tiny boat that he's driving and how he adjusted his tie when he goes underwater.
Yeah.
It was good. Like I have to say, I'll just gotta say the music song for it. I always liked because I like the band Garbage, or at least I used to.
Yeah.
Scottish band because my older brother listened to Garbage, so I like. Okay. Cool. So yeah, no, I liked that song, and no, it's a good movie, man. I think it peters at the end, in my opinion, for certain reasons, but yeah, for the most part, good one. But here's a theory. I'm just gonna say, this is what will make watching these movies got to make me think like these probably will age like a fine wine, and people will come to like them more and more as time goes on. I think.
Yeah. I'd say certainly the first three. I cannot imagine a world where Die Another Day is salvaged. It's already spoiled.
Honestly, there's not. Yeah. No, it's already spoiled.
It's like vinegar.
Yes, that's true.
But we'll get into that later.
World Is Not Enough. The only thing that was different from all Bond films, and they obviously didn't have much of a choice in this, was the leaving of Q. Made it different, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like stuck out. That always sticks out as like, oh. But I mean, I don't know how old the guy was at that point.
Yeah.
Because he was already kind of old in Sean Connery. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When you look back, you're like, he's already a senior citizen, isn't he? But maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah,
I could survive that long.
Just before seed oils, he was actually like 24.
They also freeze him after every Bond movie is over.
Yeah. I thought his exit was nice. It was very respectful. I'm glad that this was the one he left on.
Yes.
Yeah, rather than Die Another Day.
Good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, it was good. I mean, like the plot was good. I even kind of like the idea that the bad guy couldn't feel anything, and I think, and what's his name, Robert Carlyle. I like him as an actor. So
yeah,
thought that was a good. I thought that was a decent enough bad guy.
I thought
play.
he acted well, but yeah, I feel like I don't know, his physical presence was maybe...
He's a midget.
Yeah, he's a bit short.
Yeah.
That's true.
He manages to pull it off in what is it? Train Spotting, when he plays, is it Rigby in that?
Yeah.
Because he just goes feral.
Yeah.
Like he compensates for being short with just being an absolute maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
But
a maniac.
He doesn't do that in this because his character's meant to be more reserved.
Yeah.
He has a little bit of that. Like,
But
we're
it
in there in
makes
that burning forest. He's got a bit of that energy,
Yeah.
but yeah. And it's his character. It's sort of unclear. Like, why? So who's in love with who? Like at the end, like is he super in love and bewitched by the chick, or is the chick into him?
I always thought it was both ways.
They were just like both insane.
Yeah.
I think so. Did he really care for her all that much in the end of it, or was he more about his agenda?
Well, he seemed to have thought that because he couldn't really enjoy his life, and so detonating this nuke would obviously make her rich and powerful, and so he basically said, the future's for her to enjoy
Right.
Yes.
before he got on the submarine.
Yeah. So the plot of the movie, just in broad strokes, is people steal nuclear weapons from... Where were they stealing it from? Somewhere. Kazakhstan or something?
Kazakhstan.
Istanbul?
I think it was Kazakhstan.
No.
No, that was where they were being detonated.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, it was Kazakhstan.
So were these old USSR missiles or something?
Yeah,
Unashamedly.
Yeah. And basically they were being stolen in order to blow up Istanbul, so that people would be forced to use this... What's the woman's name? What's her name? I forgot.
Electra.
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 Oh yes. Use her pipeline.
Azerbaijan, by the way.
Yeah.
Was it Azerbaijan?
Yeah. It was fun. Having it set in Central Asia. That was like a nice, interesting
It was,
locale for Bond to traipse around in. Yeah.
Oh, that whole part. I know excuse me for jumping around. It just made me think of how, there's always these cheesy parts, especially as for this movie and then the next still holds, and even Torn Never Dies. But Valentin Zarkovsky, his buddy, when he goes to his casino, and they have that
Hagrid.
the drama of her losing all that money because she wants to live. I was like, it was a cringe moment for me.
Yeah, that was a little a little dramatic, but it was okay. I'm trying to think. Oh, I like that they brought him back because he was a good character from GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun. Yeah.
Now, what have I got written here? So I like that the very, very opening is just like him walking into that office, basically.
Yeah.
And I just like that it's immediately goes with him, looking cool and suave, and that's how you should open a Brosnan Bond film. And yeah, I'd say the second and fourth one, the fourth one, we'll get into that. But the second one, the second one is a good opening. Tomorrow Never Dies. The opening is it's a fine action movie opening, but it doesn't push the whole Bond is cool thing as much as obviously this movie goes back to basics. Let's have Brosnan having cool quips and punching people and whatnot. So I really like it. And then the boat chase is obviously just amazing. When he gets out of the water and he's just driving the boat, the jet fueled boat or whatever, through the streets of London, just crashing through a restaurant in a boat. It's just this is what I'm here for. That was amazing. I love that.
And then because he literally just wants to sleep with that woman, he literally is like, I can protect you.
Yeah.
Bond always has the gall to be I can save her, literally.
Yeah.
Just doesn't work out. No, you're right though. The beginning in the office with the bankers and stuff, that was a good scene. That was a good one.
Yeah. Um, and oh yeah, I wanted to know the cinematography is a lot better and the sets a lot better. Just like some of the smaller details and technical aspects are much better than, if for me at least, or not much better, but they're just like a step above Tomorrow Never Dies, just because it's back in these big like regal estates and it's not these like weird modern facilities and things like that which just don't look good and like were not shot that well. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Like
I prefer a lot of the sets in this film.
yeah, like the mission briefing place wherever that is. I don't remember where that is. Is great.
Yeah.
And what else? I don't know. Yeah, and I liked John Cleese's as Q, I must say.
Yeah, they introduce him, and this is sort of the good part of how they send off the previous Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that they sort of make a bit of a joke out of the new one.
Yeah.
They make fun of him a bit.
Yeah.
And so it can be like they're not properly replacing him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're juxtaposing them. It's very respectful. Yeah. And then I love his final line is like, you always got to know when to make an exit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So
I mean,
it's also we mentioned it whilst we were watching it, but the director for it is like a bit of an odd choice, Michael Apted.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who directed the Up documentary series.
Mm.
I don't know if John's familiar with it.
Explain to the folks at home what the Up documentary series is.
The Up documentary series was a series that I think it picked a group of like school children that started at the age of 7, and then every 7 years it returned to them, so they'd be older.
Oh yeah.
To see how they were in their life.
Right.
It's sort of famous because it chronicles these people's lives, and they go off in varying places. A lot of a decent amount of the lives are actually quite sad and things like that.
Mm.
So it's an interesting series.
Well, that's and then they
I just thought it was a bit of an odd choice.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I didn't know that. I did read that The World Is Not Enough. The title comes out of the fake. It's a fictional, like, Bond family coat of arms on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and on the bottom it reads, "The world is not enough."
Right.
So, pretty cool.
Yeah. What else have we got here? I'm just trying to think. What else is there to say about this movie?
Well, there was a cool thing. Like, I like that there was like they displayed like
the Orthodox Church.
When Electra had to go and the pipeline was
the
go
Coptic
through
church.
go through a cave. Yeah, it was Coptic, was it?
Yeah. Well, because it's in contested territory, I guess, in in this the Caucasus.
Yeah. So then she was willing to like appease for them and go around. She's like a Lady Putin. She was willing to help out the Orthodox people or the Coptics, I guess.
Yeah.
It was good. That was pretty nice of her. Cool scene.
You have the what are they even called? The glider machine.
Oh, that was awesome. That was so fun. Yeah, there's like so there was basically parachutes, like ski mobile. What do you call them? Snowmobiles with like parachutes.
I think they're some sort of paraglider. I think.
Yeah.
But adapted.
Is that right?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a really fun skiing. Chase scene of them like getting shot at and everything.
Yeah, it's
So wait, what the thing is? Okay, so
paraglider.
so spoiler alert: the Azerbaijani chick is actually one of the villains, which is, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty standard Bond fare, as one of the women betrays him or something.
Yeah.
So at that point, when they were shooting at them, were they just trying to kill Bond, or like what were they? Like, why?
Was it a
that,
setup?
Like, why?
well, that wasn't hers, surely. They weren't her men.
Oh,
were
they were some other faction.
Who do we know who they
Yeah,
were
I
though?
thought they were.
Oh, okay, okay.
I thought they told us they were Russian, didn't they?
I don't remember I don't remember the little details. I'm sorry.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that scene's great.
Yeah, it was good. See, all of it was like standard Bond, good stuff. Electra King, honestly, a pretty cool role. Also, it's like it reminds me of other older James Bond movies, like it's a Roger Moore one where basically he has to babysit kind of a rich person's daughter for a while, and it does follow the James Bond, like at least that I know, the standards of the movies.
Yeah,
And
there's nothing wrong with that.
but then no, exactly. And then we get to enter in Christmas.
Oh, well, we'll come to her in a bit. We'll come to her. I'm trying to think what else there is to say. I mean, Electra King I like her character,
Yeah.
quite a lot. I think it's standard sort of rich girl's daughter, sort of ambitious as well, but it works for the film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was and this is something we will contrast when we talked about Die Another Day, but in this film, he uses his charm to his advantage, like in various situations. So, for instance, he charms the doctor into giving him a clear bill of health to be able to go back on missions. Yeah. Charms the female. I love he basically grabs her by the waist and goes, "Let's not skirt around the issue." Which is a good one. But in that situation, he's not. He's using his charm to his advantage, and then sort of later when he beds Electra King, it's sort of like partially he's into her, but it's also I think he's trying to get her trust, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, jumping.
Nothing really stops.
Yeah, he works as. Yeah, so that's the thing is. And in Die Another Day, that's an issue that comes up, but we'll come back to that when we get to that movie, I suppose. But keep that in mind.
Yeah, so we haven't even said the plot of this movie. Like the plot of this movie is that a British oil tycoon is assassinated.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to figure out who did it, and Bond has to protect his daughter.
Yeah.
Electra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they know that this KGB agent called Renard, played by Robert Carlyle, is involved somehow.
Yes.
They figure that out because of money connections and stuff like that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And also So what was his deal again? So he got shot in the head, but who shot him?
Renard, yeah. Bond shot him in the head. It didn't kill him, but the bullet basically destroyed his ability to feel any sort of pleasure. And so he's sort of in this nihilistic spiral because he can't properly experience the world.
Yeah.
Bond getting busy with women left and right, and this guy can't feel a thing.
He's an incel.
Involuntary.
He's short, bald, not that good looking. He can't feel anything.
Can't feel anything.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that is the plot of the film. What else are we going to say here? I guess let's go to my favorite character. Denise Richards as Christmas Jones, so whatever you think of her performance, we all have to admit Christmas Jones is a great Bond girl name. You have to give her that much.
Yeah, it's used at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
And I didn't think her acting was that bad, honestly. Compared,
it's awful. I hate it.
Wow.
I hate it.
Compared to some of the performances in Die Another Day, it's pretty good.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Can I compare?
Oh yes, go ahead.
What she reminds me of?
Yeah.
So when she starts talking, and she's like, like just says any of her lines, like I'm a nuclear physicist. Basically, I literally get PTSD flashbacks of little Anakin Skywalker in Episode 1.
Yeah.
That's so
That's
true.
about the quality of
That's so
acting.
true. Yeah.
Like that, it's like those two are like on the same caliber of acting level. Like it's amazing. Like that's why, I just cannot believe it. Like that she's like it's like paying grade fivers to write a play and then watching it like when she speaks. Just, I suppose there's a charm to that. Like I mean, she's they did pick a good Bond girl because she's like clearly was hot, and that's the appeal. I mean, but the fact that they made, like, I feel like they all know, like, are they trolling the audience to make that woman a nuclear physicist? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Because it's like, what happens is that Bond finds out that one of Elektra's security team is working with Renard.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like your first tip-off that they might be connected in some way.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so he figures out that this guy was meant to board this plane bound for Kazakhstan, and so he takes his place.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Right.
And then when he gets to this nuclear facility, they find the Kazakh soldiers. They're moving them for transport or something. And Christmas Jones is one of the nuclear physicists there.
No, but we've missed one of the funny jokes. One of his funny one-liners was so this guy that he's impersonating, he like kills him and puts him in a rubbish dump thing, and then I guess at some point someone asks him, "Oh, what happened?" And then he goes, "Oh, he was buried with work."
Yeah.
Which is a good one.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I interrupted.
It was buried. Thank you,
Yeah,
James.
Christmas Jones, she wears all her gear, and then she just has to take it all
So
off.
yeah, it's 5 seconds later. Yeah, and then it's just
5 seconds later, then she's in her crop top and short shorts.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
I'm
funny.
a nuclear physicist. Like, sure you are, babe. Sure thing,
What is she?
whatever
Is
you
she
say.
even connected to the plot aside from the fact that she's like a scientist
No,
working?
she's
with,
just
yeah,
there.
it's just so
She's literally
funny.
just there, and then Bond just takes her with him.
I just
As a
love that.
toy.
It's not even.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the thing is, she gets introduced like over an hour into the movie. Like it's just.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to
He
have.
literally just turns up, and it's like, she's dinner.
We need to have. It's like, oh, we need to have a love interest now that the Electra King is going to be revealed to be the villain.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's just get who's the it girl right now? Okay, Denise Richards. It's 1997. Denise Richards is at peak of her fame. Yeah, I love it. I don't know. It's just like this movie is. Yeah, that's a little aspect of a time capsule element to this film. Having Denise Richards in there.
Yeah, and Bond gets inside the place. I think he knocks one of Renard's men out and dresses up as them.
Yeah, classic.
Yes.
And he gets inside the facility, and then he has Renard. And this is one of the problems with the film, is that he doesn't shoot him.
Immediately, yeah.
He talks for too long.
Yeah.
And it's like, they do have a reason for him not to shoot him, because Renard later says that, if I don't make a call, Elektra dies.
Yeah.
But he should just blurted it out the moment
Yeah.
Bond grabbed him.
Yeah.
Because, like, Bond should just shot him for how long that he
Yeah.
was just talking without telling him that.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
it would be an easy problem to fix. You literally just, in the script, you literally just move a line forward.
Yeah.
But it makes it a bit awkward when you're watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the one.
But, that's a minor problem compared to the next film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then I like, it's sort of a little bit contrived, but I like how they bring back the fact that he knows that Bond's shoulder is injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Elektra told him.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's not bad. It's like a perfectly acceptable like little narrative thing. I liked it. And then after this? It's basically that like the tunnel action scene. They're in the pipeline.
Yeah, which is
Which is great.
quite a good one, actually.
Yeah.
I did like that. Yes.
So they escape, and the escape from the facility is pretty fun as well.
Yeah, this action scene's quite good.
Yeah, and say this movie,
It
he
reminds
rocks
me
up
of
to a
Goldeneye
facility,
a bit.
there's action, then he leaves the facility. And this is the problem
Yeah.
with the next movie, where he goes in and out of the same facility like 50 times.
Just awkwardly, and you're like, what is actually even going on inside your head? Like, why are you doing this?
Okay,
But anyway,
we'll get to that. Yeah, I don't have many more notes, honestly, other than like the one-liners at the very end. Because I'd say after that pipe action scene, there's that one other really good one, or that fun one with Hagrid comes back again.
Yeah. Yeah, there's what is it? There's the one that I really don't like, where they're traveling through the pipe,
Yeah.
because Renard managed to get away with the nuclear weapon,
Yes.
and they find out that he's managed to get it in on a
Submarine.
what do they call him? I think they call him a no, not the submarine, the plutonium from it. He's put on a pipeline inspection pig, I think.
Oh, that's right.
those
Yeah.
things that travel- I think they're called pigs.
Pig, yeah. It's a pig, yeah.
And they put it on there, and Bond and Christmas Jones get on another one chasing it,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the whole thing just looks awful.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks really bizarre, them traveling through this pipe.
Yeah.
They're just having a good time.
Yeah, it's like they're just like casually having this conversation whilst they're zooming through this pipe.
Yeah, it's a bit silly.
It's just really awkward looking.
Yeah, that's true.
And what do they find out? They find out that it doesn't have it has half the plutonium in it, so it can't actually be detonated as a nuke.
Yes. That's right.
So it'll just blow up as like a regular bomb, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what Bond's reason for just telling her to let it blow up was. Was it just because there wouldn't be enough time? And he just wanted to jump off the pigs or whatever? I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those things are going fast, and then they just go,
Yeah.
and then they just fall off them,
Yeah.
and they just slowly roll.
Yeah.
It's like, you're dead. I'm sorry, you're dead.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of really.
I don't even remember
awkward
that scene. Did
overall.
I fall asleep at that bit?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. No, you were awake.
Oh, okay.
We were talking about how kind of dumb it was.
Okay. And then it's the Hagrid bit, right? And why does he go to Hagrid to get like gear or something? I don't even remember. I stopped.
Because what happens then? Then, because M is a retard in this.
Oh, that's
And
right. Oh, yeah. Then
decides to actually travel to Azerbaijan.
Yeah, because they say
because
yeah,
Electra King
yeah,
is
yeah,
scared or whatever.
Yeah.
This is another one of the issues, is that it's like
Why would she?
that would
go?
be like, and I said this that would be like during World War II, and like finding out like some Yugoslavian Chetnik is having issues,
Yeah.
and then King George VI saying, "I will personally travel to."
Yeah. It was just so ridiculous.
Why would M do this?
Yeah,
You know,
that's
it's-
ridiculous.
But she's a woman, I suppose. So, you know.
It was a moment.
Yeah.
That male M would never do that.
Yeah. And then.
But yeah, then Electra reveals that she's evil,
Yeah.
kidnaps her
Pretty obvious.
because
but
what was
yeah.
it? Electra had been kidnapped by Renard when she was young,
Oh, that's right.
and
Yeah.
M had made the decision not to get her out
Yes.
because they
Which
don't
I
negotiate
liked.
with terrorists.
And
or
see,
whatever.
this movie doesn't have too many characters. All right, we've got M, we've got Bond, we've got the two chicks, and we've got Renard, and that's about it. And Hagrid is there, but you know, he's not.
He's comedic
Yeah.
sort of relief.
There's like, I swear,
But,
there's like 20 characters in Die Another Day. But we'll get into that. We keep
yeah.
having to jump
But,
ahead. But, yeah.
But yeah, and so Electra then kidnaps M because she'd been kidnapped by Renard and M hadn't helped her earlier in life, and that's when Electra and Renard met.
Yeah.
And it's implied that basically Renard like
Be tactful.
we're like yeah, I was about to not be
Stockholm. There was a
Renard-
bit of Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, Stockholm.
Is the implication.
Two ways,
Yes.
and they love each other now.
Yeah. So I guess that's one way to get a woman to like you.
But I don't remember. Oh yeah, Zukovsky. Yeah, because Bond doesn't quite understand what's going on yet, and so because he knows Zukovsky was working with
Oh, that's right. He's like,
Electra.
yes. What were
But
you doing with her?
what
Yeah.
he was doing was he was getting them the submarine
Yes.
because his cousin or whatever. No, his
Yeah.
nephew.
Yeah.
Is the captain of a submarine.
That's right. That's right. And that's that's
And
nice.
so when he finds out that
it's for
when he finds out that
nukes.
Electra,
Yeah. He helps
and when he
Bond.
finds out that Electra has killed Nikolai, then
Yeah.
his nephew.
Which is nice. And then
Yeah, because they need the submarine because he's going to insert the plutonium into the submarine's nuclear reactor.
yeah, I'm impressed you are remembering all these details.
Yeah.
That'll cause a meltdown.
I hope you're not planning on
Which
doing this
will-
point by point thing when we do Die Another Day, because I will
That's
kill
impossible.
myself
That movie's
before.
too retarded. That movie's too. Yeah, I'll die of retardation for trying to remember that movie's plot. But yeah, and so that'll cause a nuclear meltdown,
Yeah.
which will destroy Istanbul.
Yes.
But it'll look like a an accident.
Yes. Which
Mhm.
it's a nice little
Russian
plot.
nuclear sub had a meltdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like the scene where he's sort of like tied up in the chair. That's all right.
Mhm.
I feel like there should have been a bit more with just him and Electra and him tied up. Now, interpret that as you may, but I don't know. I feel like that was underutilized as a because in GoldenEye there's a bit more of a with On a Top there's a bit more of a there's more going on, but like in like the dynamic between her and Bond, I would say, and I feel like they didn't quite when she revealed herself to be the villain, they didn't quite fully utilize that like shift in dynamic between them.
Right.
Yeah.
Is all I'm
Yeah,
saying,
and,
basically.
What is it?
Yeah, I think
They
menacing villainry. Like it just the movie never, for all its stuff that was good, it never. I don't know. It just wasn't a good. Like I mean, I'm sorry to harken back to GoldenEye or something, or even Tomorrow Never Dies. They just had more like at least, like they're at least trying to be menacing in Tomorrow Never Dies, and then
Yeah.
no, just wasn't like. Yeah, the bad guy situation just was lackluster, I suppose. The character, the idea that
Yeah.
it didn't make you want him like to solve the problem and finish and save the world. It was more
Yeah.
there was other attributes of the movie that made it good, but I don't think
Yeah.
the villainry was that good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
And,
you take the villain as the woman, as Electra. You're not thinking of Ronaldo or Robert Carlyle the whole time. I found myself you're thinking who's the bad guy, you're just thinking Electra, so
Yeah.
and
And it was
Yeah,
just but yeah, exactly what you said. Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
What was it?
So they've gotten
Trying to
captured. He's in the chair. He escapes the chair.
They
He kills
Zukov.
Electra. Oh, Zukov,
Yeah, 'cause
he comes back. Yeah.
Zukovsky's men raid, sort of where they are,
Yeah.
and sort of try to free them. And Zukovsky gets shot by Electra, and then I forget what she's doing. She's talking to Zukovsky, and he pulls out his cane gun, and then he takes like 20 seconds to do anything, and she just
Yeah.
stares at him the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is
I
another
love
sort
that.
of dumb thing. She's just like looking at him, waiting for him to free Bond,
Yeah. That was pretty dumb.
and he shoots the lock off his wrist rather than just shooting Electra in the fucking face or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he dies.
Yeah.
But that allows Bond to escape,
Yeah.
and then he chases her up this tower of the building
Oh yeah.
and catches her in the bedroom, and she like tells him how he could never kill her in cold blood, and then he just does. He ices her.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is great.
He just like shoots a bitch, and then M, despite being a geriatric woman, manages to catch up with them
Yeah.
after she escapes
Yeah.
the prison,
Yeah.
and so they're just in time to like see him shoot her
Yeah.
and like looks at him odd, even though she always lectures him about how
He gets too involved.
you have to be cold and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how does he get onto the
I don't think
submarine?
they're retarded and start submerging before they close the hatch.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they literally just slow at closing the hatch, and he manages to get in.
Yeah, and then
At least they had the decency to have a dude pop up and start closing it
yeah,
that he has to punch out,
Yeah.
rather than just having it be open.
yeah,
Very easy. It was like a very lazy Bond moment.
yeah. I mean,
But
whatever,
you know,
it's fine.
I'm willing to accept that these aren't
They're not proper
really
submarine.
professional
Yeah,
sailors.
yeah.
It's like okay,
Right.
And
but it's a bit iffy.
Yeah.
That way of getting it is a bit
yeah,
but whatever. It doesn't matter.
yeah. And I
But
this
And then from there,
it's pretty great.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
really remember what happens. I remember it's like cool, like the submarines. See, when I'm watching this like Goldeneye, I'm like fully focused in, but all of the subsequent Brosnan ones, I'm just going to like bug brain
Oh,
mode,
Pitbull was kind of cool. Yeah.
and I'm not like thinking too much about the exact. I'm just going scene by scene. Okay, is this a good scene? How's the pacing? What's that? I'm not thinking of what like the content. It's the vibes.
Yeah.
And I like the submarine
Yeah,
scene. I think it goes a
they-
bit too long. It's like a bit too long,
Maybe.
and it's
They-
not as epic.
They have like they have a fight on there. Like some of the men get thrown into the control panels,
Yeah,
and like the submarine starts just diving,
yeah,
and it hits the bottom.
yeah,
And then what is it? It starts filling up with water, and it's vertical.
yes.
Submarine's gone vertical.
So they have to climb up. Or do they have?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so they have to sort of try to climb up, and one of the doors is closed, like one of the main hatches, and so Bond has to get out. I think is it a torpedo tube or something?
Yes.
He has to sort of climb out that and go in through another one
Yeah,
back on the other side
yeah,
to get to Renard, who is putting the plutonium into the reactor in the slowest way possible.
yeah. Which I mean is fine.
But yeah, he starts like fighting with him, and then he notices that Christmas is still in the other part trapped there,
Yeah,
so he has to stop to let her out
yeah,
because he's gonna drown.
yeah. And so why did she come? Oh, because she's like, I'm a nuclear physicist.
Renard actually, when they kidnapped her, Renard brought her onto the
Oh,
submarine.
she was already kidnapped there. Okay. See,
Yeah.
I've lost. I was losing track.
I know that's a blurry plot point right there for me.
When did she get captured? After.
Because they went to Zukovsky's
right.
facility,
Okay.
and then one of his men betrays them.
Yes.
You know,
That's
he
right.
puts that bomb in there,
Yes. Okay. Yes.
and then when they go out to chase him, they get captured. By
Yes. Yes. Classic.
And I'd like to say that Tomorrow Never Dies, like even Goldeneye, like I think every Bond has a theme that's current to the world that would have like, it's like talking about whether esoterically or not, it's like, you know, trying to relate to some like problem in the world. Like I guess Goldeneye was like the newly Russia and that, well, we just became buddies, but there's still remnants of things. And Tomorrow Never Dies is like controlling of the media and fake news, or I guess whatever, that kind of stuff. This is like, I guess, like oil pipeline stuff. Like I just wasn't getting, because even when we get to Die Another Day is like blatant propaganda, but like this is a little more subtle, and that's weird to me because most Bonds have like a pretty clear idea. I guess the only thing I get from pipe, like what they do to get pipelines made, I don't know.
I mean, like the villains are trying to destroy Russia's influence over oil.
Oh, okay.
That's what the villains are trying to do, which is interesting.
I think
Whereas these days, the heroes would be destroying Russia's supply of oil.
I think I think that's why Goldeneye is one of the best Bonds ever, is because the theme intertwines with what Bond is so well, and it's like it functions as a commentary on Bond as well as on the whole Cold War, like simultaneously, and that's I think, you know, why it's so brilliant. you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that, you know, the Tomorrow Never Dies. It's an interesting theme, but it doesn't have that same meta, you know, element to it, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
And then
It'd be more relevant if it was made today.
Yes, but
Yeah,
I don't think they
yeah,
would.
really.
I don't think they would.
No, it couldn't be made today.
They would make one where the journalist is the good guy.
Journalist is the good guy.
Yeah,
James
my
Bond
my
on
favorite
cover.
journalist as the good guy movie is Nightcrawler, I think.
Yeah. That is the best journalist movie there is.
Yeah, that's so true though.
That's literally Nightcrawler is the updated version of Tomorrow Never Dies' villain.
Yeah.
He makes the news. He
Yeah.
creates his own.
Yeah. Yeah, Nightcrawler's so good. Yeah, well, he beats, what's his name? Renard?
Renaud, yeah. Renaud.
He beats Renard. They win. They escape. Istanbul doesn't get blown up. And then it's so. And then this is a Christmas movie secretly. And for some reason they're celebrating Christmas in Turkey, which maybe they do. I don't know. Or are they?
Well, James Bond movies always tend to, at least back in those days for sure, released at Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
I always watched a James Bond movie during, like, if I went to the theaters to watch one, it was during Christmas break.
Okay. But for some reason, there's fireworks going off in Turkey on December 25th, I guess, or like something.
Then what does he say? I always wanted to celebrate Christmas in Turkey.
Yes, and then he's with Christmas
Which is
Jones. Yeah,
We should
that's
celebrate
true.
Christmas.
And then he has his.
And we will one day.
He has his other line. He's
Yeah.
he's with Christmas Jones, and we won't
Yeah.
we won't even repeat that one. That's for you have to watch the movie to get that one, the juicy one.
The juicy one.
Yeah, overall, perfectly solid, like, perfectly acceptable action film. I would say, with bits of Bond things spiced in there. Any sort of, I mean, we'll probably do a bit of a overall summary actually after Die Another Day. So let's just jump straight into that. I think. So Die Another Day, I think, is the worst movie I've seen in a long, long time. I can't think of a worse movie.
It does at least have like the benefit of being a fun bad movie.
Parts of it.
It is fun to watch.
It is. If it was an hour shorter, I would be like, oh, this is fine. But it's so long and it's so boring. So I looked up the.
Did you notice? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I looked up the director. So I thought he was Japanese because his name was Tamahori, but it turns out he's like New Zealander Maori guy, and that's just their names are similar.
I assumed he was an Asian based off his name.
Yeah, so Lee Tamahori is actually some New Zealand guy. So he directed Once We Were Warriors, which I don't know.
He's the most white-looking Maori man.
Yeah, but what else did he direct? Directed one episode of The Sopranos. He directed Along Came a Spider, which is a very meh movie.
Yeah.
The Edge, which I'm kind of interested to watch because it's got.
Oh yeah, he did The Edge.
Is that good?
Actually, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll reserve judgment. And then he did this movie, and then he did the Triple X
he directed
sequel.
Next.
Yeah, and Next.
Yeah.
And he directed one called The Patriarch. What is that about? Patriarch.
Never heard of it.
From the author of. Oh, it's some New Zealand drama, boring movie. All right. Well, we won't worry about that. Anyway, this movie is horrible. This movie. I don't know.
Look.
I don't know.
You guys can tell. Let me just explain. I made notes here.
All right.
Copious amounts of notes because there's so much to say about it. Like, first of all, You know, the intro of all James Bond movies is you're looking down the scope or the barrel of
Yeah.
the gun, and Bond walks up and shoots. Well, they
Oh yeah,
changed.
this one has the
Yeah, they changed the music, so I feel like it's a bad sign off the bat that
Yeah.
they made it like they upped
and they have
tempo.
the CGI bullet travel down the barrel of the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Across
so
the
they're
screen.
improving their internal
Yeah.
improvers in this movie because they think somehow they need to change that, like because we're in the 2000s now. Like,
Yeah.
This is more. It's over the top. This is,
Yeah.
it's so crazy. The bullet goes down the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was that like right there because I'm sorry, I came into the movie knowing I'm gonna watch a bad movie because we all know, but then now I'm paying attention and I'm like, oh well, they're right off the bat they're being dumb, they're making bad decisions, and then big wave surfing.
Oh, horrible.
What's interesting though is they paid, like, if you watch so first of all, I like two movies. I'll just say it's embarrassing, the second one, but I do like them because they're surfing movies. Is Point Break and Blue Crush because they have good surfing. But then, and I like surfing documentaries. So the surfing at the beginning, they obviously paid professionals to do.
Yeah.
For the most part, like that was good surfing. I just no, I'm not jumping forward, but I just want to point out that there's another surfing thing later, and it's like bad, ugly CGI, and of course it's even more cheesy. But I just don't get, like, I noticed, I'm like, oh, like legitimate surfing. Obviously, but it's not Pierce Brosnan, but they paid the money to like have these guys do big wave surfing
Yeah.
for the movie. And then later he surfs again, but it's fake. Like, I guess they had to make it fake. We'll get to that, but anyway, the big wave surfing was kind of cool, but also James Bond. Like, I just want to say, does North Korea really have World War II style like iron blockades everywhere? Is that real?
No.
I would be shocked if anything of their depiction of North Korea was particularly accurate. I mean,
Not that I'm aware of. Although I do know that like, was it almost all of their population is employed by the military or something like that, and the military just does construction work most of the time. So who knows? Maybe they just build crap
yeah.
to try to keep some semblance of an economy. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it just wasn't a very. It just.
Yeah, I think they have one of the largest militaries on the planet, but all they do is construction. Like, they aren't actually trained to fight, but they just called their military.
Okay. Yeah. The surfing thing was just out of place, I thought, for like a Bond.
Yeah.
Because like Bond should be jumping in from the sky or something. Like surfing in, like, it just very silly. Yeah. Very, very silly. Like, just have him parachute in or something, or like submarine in.
Have him go over the border with China. They've set up that he's good relationships with the Chinese.
Yeah, yeah. And then that would, yeah.
Have him get like smuggled in on because the Chinese give the Koreans a lot of their resources.
Yeah.
Like, it's a constant stream of trucks into North Korea.
Yeah.
Like, literally just put him on one of them.
Yeah.
And you can have like a funny little comedic moment where he like runs into a North Korean guard or something.
Yeah.
And he gives him something from the West, and he goes, keep quiet.
Yeah. Or like, he could have been in a truck filled with food or some sort of food or something, or like whiskey or something. That would have been that's actually way more interesting. So, but it feels like they had the surfing thing at the beginning because there's a surfing thing later, and it's like, oh, we have to prime this. If you thought that surfing was epic.
How about you just don't have either of the surf?
Yes. Yeah.
and then you don't have to set up the Bond knows how to surf. He just doesn't surf.
Yeah, and that's so dumb. Like, why? Yeah, it was just hard. It was so dumb.
Well, and also, this whole thing is North Korea propaganda, which I noticed, and it has to be said because it's really insane. But here's the thing: Bond movies are like half the appeal, if not, well, no, let's say half. Half of my appeal of why I always like Bond movies is the exotic locales, like the set pieces that is James Bond. Like, that's kind of where the money has to be put into.
Yeah.
And in this movie, I get it. Later they go to an ice palace, but let's be honest, nobody cares. Like,
that was horrible.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a horrible choice. I'm just saying, okay, technically that's an exotic location, but basically every piece of this movie was the worst location choice ever. and North Korea was the worst because I don't know where they filmed that scene in North Korea, the whole beginning scene, but come on, like it was just
I'll give you
mud
a
and
spoiler.
a drab,
Not
cloudy
North
day.
Korea.
What's the odds it was filmed in like Romania or something?
Probably. That's where because it's cheap to shoot there, so it probably was Romania.
You know.
Oh, and let's start the lines in this movie when you meet the bad guy after he's sneaking around. I love the line. He beats up the guy in the punching bag, and he puts his coat on. He's about to head out, and he says, "Find me a new anger therapist." I was like, "Oh, we got some elementary school
Yeah.
playwriting again." Like anger therapist, like what are you talking?
Mm.
It's just a terrible choice of trying to like pull you in. Like, yeah, this guy's awesome. They chose like it's North Korea, but they picked two of the main dudes. The bad guy and the henchman are essentially Asian male models.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got it. That opening scene in Korea, not Korea. Oh, it is Korea. Sorry, North Korea, where they're surfing in. That's in Hawaii. That's literally that's a color corrected Hawaii.
That's why it looks
Gotta
so
get
horrible.
waves.
That's so funny.
North Korea doesn't have waves like that.
Gotta get the good waves.
And North Korea, the rest of North Korea is almost entirely just the Pinewood Studios in England. Like it's all on a soundstage.
Yeah, like I mean, just the whole thing, like exotic cars parked in what looks like a fortress, really terrible
And this,
fortress.
the surfing scene is Hawaii, but then the scene where they actually walk up the beach is in Cornwall.
That hurts.
Man.
Yeah, because you can tell that the surfing scene was real. That's like noticeably, I'm like, oh, they paid to do this. Like, they put money into making this legit.
Why
surfing.
couldn't they film in South Korea?
I don't even know what the landscape looks like in Korea. Period.
Yeah.
But I get.
Well, you think they could just go to South?
I just thought it was funny that they're like, oh, North Korea, that's a communist country. That means it just looks like Eastern Europe, and that's just.
That means it's communist, so it's always dark.
Yeah,
it's always overcast.
Yeah.
Drab. It's always drab.
I'm not a communist, however, they still get some. Communists aren't that powerful.
Did you know
to block the sun from their citizens yet?
They really got they really so James Bond gets like I notice his face when he makes contact with the bad guys at the beginning that he's like, oh yeah, he like mentions that they're conflict diamonds.
Yeah.
It has to be mentioned, conflict diamonds, and it like makes it makes Bond like have an anger grumpy face to say conflict diamonds. And North Korea, like, what I like about it is the bad guys like, that's cool. They're
Yeah.
they're conflict diamonds. Like basically, they know that Bond is literally virtue signaling to him right now, and he's like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, and it's so dumb. Like he's literally a black ops.
MI6.
Yeah, he's a black ops agent.
Yeah.
He's done way more worse stuff. Like who cares?
Diamonds.
Yeah. So stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make.
Like
It's honestly, this movie's filled with like propaganda to make us hate because really, it's the North Korean dictator who's the real bad guy. It's his son, and at that time, Kim Jong-il was still running. I'm pretty sure, and his son didn't come into play yet. So they're setting you up to say, this guy's son is even worse than the dad. Like,
yeah.
It didn't make any sense. I was like, what? Why are they talking like they really make a point to be like, I went to Oxford, I did this and this. Well, so did like. I'm pretty sure I don't know if his son actually did, but that's a real
had
thing.
foreign education, yeah.
Yeah, communism.
Yeah,
communist
Switzerland,
leaders.
I believe.
Yeah, like
Switzerland, they just don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
So, it's like...
They all have Western education. Those communist leaders, like Mao had a Harvard, I think, was his education.
Yeah,
Harvard
and what's his face? The leader. I forgot the name of Vietnam.
Pol Pot?
Ho Chi Minh.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, Ho Chi Minh.
No.
Ho Chi Minh.
Pol Pot is Cambodia.
Whatever.
But he probably did as well. I mean, he was a teacher. So.
Yeah.
Cambodia, Vietnam. Close enough.
They're literally right next to each other.
They are. They don't like each other.
No one likes each other.
Tell a Cambodian and Vietnamese person the same.
I'm sorry. I briefly mistook the two different Southeast Asian dictators.
You insulted the great nations of Cambodia and Vietnam.
Alright.
Don't you love that the bad guy has like he has like his male model assistant with like the head on or the phone on his head.
Yeah.
Like the old school.
Sorry, I just checked. Pol Pot was educated in Paris. So
Okay.
Oh, okay.
they all have foreign education.
So like the bad guy in the movie.
I had to say that it was important.
He's selling arms for diamonds.
Yeah.
He's got a male model assistant, and then his daddy phones him, and he's like, "I'm going to be right there." And he's like, "Hey, we gotta go."
Both of them have American accents.
Yeah. What was the deal with that?
It's because the actors are American. Korean.
Was the implication that?
Well, they were trying to claim that he had been really well educated.
Yeah.
In the ways of the West.
But
it's like he speaks all the time with an American accent. Like that's absurd.
But was the implication that the main villain was like homosexual? Was that the implication, or did I just read that into it?
From having an American accent.
Well, no, not from having an American. From like when like he is reunited with Zhao, there's like they have a weird moment.
Zhao.
There's a very weird moment.
I don't know. They're just
he's very
good friend.
I don't know. I was reading into. I thought it was there just because like the bad relationship with the dad. Yeah, the extravagance, Ice Palace.
Yeah,
come on, could be. I'm just putting it out there.
That whole North Korea beginning scene like was surprising too because he ends up like being tortured and then it goes into the song and then the torture.
I did like the introduction of what is it, General Moon, or whatever his name was, the youngest, the son. Him punching that guy in the boxing bag.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
That was a good introduction.
Get me a new anger therapist.
Yeah. I like
that.
But
and then his character went to shit after that.
Well, he's not even in the movie. He's not even in the movie. That's the issue.
No, he's not.
Are you suggesting that the white dude who plays the same character didn't do a good job of acting the same?
Like clearly they had
no way.
They had nothing in common. Those two actors, it's completely different presence.
They did not. They did not communicate at all.
They probably weren't even. I mean, like they probably never met once. But anyway, we'll get into that. James Bond gets captured after the hovercraft escape scene, which was alright. Which is probably the best scene in the movie, which is not saying much.
Mm-hmm. And he kills the young guy, the young general.
Yeah.
During the chase, and he gets captured by another general who's the other guy's father.
Yes. And then he's put in prison and he's tortured, and then we get to, I guess maybe this was the idea is since James Bond is getting tortured, we also get tortured by the worst Bond song of all time.
Yeah, I hate that Bond song, man. I had a specific note. I just wrote really bad song.
Bad song, bad intro.
You get the North Korean military GF though. Like, know how the whole thing with like North Korea, like his sister, like Kim Jong's daughter. People are like, oh, I hope she like she's so hot. Like she's not really that hot, but they were just going soy facing over her.
Yeah. And
then they actually had like for no reason at all, they just had to have like a dominating GF military GF.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, interesting. I had just pointed that out. And also, come on, James Bond with long hair and a beard. What's going on here?
Yeah, I thought that was a cool look.
Yeah, it's...
At times
like,
it was...
kind of commit like halfway to have him being like mistreated, because like he has the long hair and the beard, but he has absolutely no scars.
Yeah.
He isn't gaunt at all.
Yeah.
You know... He's just disheveled because he hasn't cut his hair.
Yeah, it needs some shampoo and it'll be fine. Basically.
Yeah.
And then, we can't go through this whole thing. We cannot. We need to speed this up.
Like,
no.
It's like, you have that case of the American guy who he was some tourist that upset the Koreans.
Yeah.
And they'd be holding him hostage. And then he died of like a brain hemorrhage. Because they'd beaten him so badly and he'd got an infection or something. You know, and he was like paralyzed.
Yeah.
And this was just a regular like tourist who'd badly upset them.
Yeah.
this is like some secret agent who killed the son of this general.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then for some reason, this is the only James Bond movie in the entire world where they decided to cast that Michael Michelson actor guy. No, that's not his actual name.
Michael Madsen.
Yeah, that's Michael Madsen.
Yes.
They're gonna stick him in a Bond movie as an American, like CIA kind of representative. I was like, what?
Yeah, why was he added nothing to the movie except made it more confusing because you thought he was like going to be involved somehow.
Yeah, like it made no sense.
It was like, were they trying to like have a new fan favorite character? It's like, oh, we'll have Michael Madsen as the grumpy CIA guy.
Why didn't they get Pierce Brosnan's usual CIA guy?
Yeah,
Maybe he wanted.
Because he's in his first two, but then they don't bring him back.
Because they could have brought him back as like a director or higher up, and Halle Berry could have been working for him. Like he could have been Halle Berry's handler, or something.
But no.
All right. Well, then he gets traded back for Zhao. And then Zhao has the diamonds in his face, but he still looks normal Chinese.
Yeah, because like the what is it? Because in the early chase scene, Bond blows up the diamond case, and Zhao gets hit with them, and so they embed themselves in his face.
And they couldn't be removed
apparently
for some
within
reason.
And apparently within the time that Bond has been in prison, he never got the diamonds removed.
Yeah, like
Which is
those are
dumb.
valuable.
However, it does look cool. I'll give them that.
Yo, I've got...
Yeah, it looks
It is a cool look. The diamonds in the face.
Oh, we've got Style section here is telling us they were going to set up a Jinx spin-off movie. They got cancelled, and that's why they had Michael Madsen as like... He was going to be the...
What?
He was going to be the American... So they was trying to set up a... This is what, in the chat...
A James Bond universe.
Oh my gosh.
A James Bond cinematic universe.
And that was what they were going with, Halle Berry? Oh my gosh.
Man, Halle Berry is like one of the greatest of all, like her character, I mean, in this movie, one of like the greatest whores of all time, like the way she like just leaps into bed with Bond so quickly. Like that always stuck out to me. Of all the Bond movies I've seen, a lot, she sleeps with women. It's not a surprise, but she just goes for it, and like, what is?
And that, I think that was one thing, Jack, you pointed out, was in this film, like, Bond, the formula is like they're not doing how he does his seductions. They're not doing them how he normally does them. It's like different, like, because
this should also be another critique of mine, is this character is barely even James Bond.
Yeah.
In this film.
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan is kind of off his game in this.
Yeah, because why?
Like I like him a lot, but he's not quite right. This whole movie is just sort of odd.
Because there's no reason for him to sleep with Halle Berry. Like, he's on a mission. She's not directly... Yeah. He doesn't even know what her involvement is or, like, who she is. He just happens to sleep with her because, oh, James Bond just sleeps with women. And then it's like, later in the film, he sleeps with Rosamund Pike for literally no reason.
Committed, during a mission, he's always committed to the mission.
Yeah.
And him sleeping with women is for that purpose.
Yeah.
It's like, you see in other films when he's sort of off a mission that he will.
Yeah.
Because he's a horny sort of pervert. However, during the mission, he focuses on that.
Yeah.
Whereas in this film, he lets, like, he loses his control.
Yeah.
And he does it a second time, even worse.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, with like Halle Berry, whilst it isn't absolutely necessary for him to sleep with her, he's at least getting like something out of it because she's an unknown quantity, and he can at least sort of
he's
sort of a connection with her.
He's sort of knowingly suspicious. Oh, anyway, but it just it was very silly. Like they should have, because that's the thing with some Bond women, he doesn't sleep with them till the end of the movie. Like that's his Princess Peach at the end of the castle. It's like he shouldn't have slept with her then. They should have just flirted or whatever, and then they now have a connection. And at the end of the movie,
but did you notice it was like a legit sex scene too?
Yeah.
Like she was pumping. Like I'm saying, like Bond sex scenes don't have actual like hip movement.
Yeah, it's normally just they roll around in the bed and then he says a one-liner and then the movie ends or something.
Yeah, like it is really worth pointing out that the sex scene is like more of an actual
It's
like
quite. It's
sex.
yeah. For Bond, it is quite gratuitous.
Yeah, I thought so. Like there's nudity in the old Bonds, this, that, and the other thing, but there's usually not. And I'll say it again. There's not hip movement rotation. Like there's not real thrusting.
Yeah.
There's literally no thrusting. And in this, there's lots of thrusting because there's even when they pan out on the sex scene, he's on top of her and he's doing it again. He's thrusting again. Like they never do that. It's always smooching. It's always naked. Yes, you might even see a nipple in the old Bond movies here and there for sure, but you don't see the action happen.
Yeah.
Like
It's very very strange. It seems like the director just wasn't a Bond fan or something. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, something was off, man. Like seriously.
You know. Yeah, it's like Uncanny Valley, James Bond.
Yeah, because the movie's bad, but as I actually watched it, I realized, okay, like the whole vibe is off. Like that's got to be one of the biggest reasons why we all hate the movie. Cause
even beyond like, even if this say was a well-written film, and it kept the same vibe, like I'd acknowledge it was well-written, but I probably still wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Because like it just wouldn't quite be the James Bond sort of vibe. It would be like a Daniel Craig Bond almost.
The thing is, I feel like as much as
some of them are good, but they aren't quite the Bond vibe.
As much as I like sort of shit on the Daniel Craig films, you know, they're all much more feel Bondy than this film.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially Casino Royale.
Yeah, Casino Royale, but even by comparison, Quantum of Solace or obviously Skyfall, but you know, Quantum of Solace is like probably the least Bondy of the Craig ones, and even that feels more Bondy than this.
Way more.
You know,
way more.
It's just there's something so off about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then you have the whole thing of like Bond getting sort of burned by the by MI6. It's like they don't want to put him back on duty, but he wants to get Zhao because he was traded for him.
Yeah.
And so he just escapes by forcibly lowering his heart rate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not set up at all.
Dying. No, he can just do that apparently. Yeah. I wonder if there's any other situations that could have been useful. But why didn't he do that in Korea? Anyway.
Yeah.
But and then they go in to help him and use a defibrillator on him, and he just pushes it off to some other dude.
And then there's the hot woman. Yeah.
Doing that, by the way.
And then he's like, "I'm checking out."
If you put those onto people whilst they're alive, you can kill them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, and he says to that woman, "Thanks for the kiss of life."
Yeah.
And I'm like, did he kiss her?
Yeah, she was giving him mouth to mouth.
Oh, right.
And that's just kind of that's not like his deal. That's not his deal at all with women.
Yeah.
You know, it's very different.
Man, this whole thing is playing with my mind. Okay, but I got to jump to the next sex scene. That's the most. This is the most strangely. What did they show us in this movie? He's gonna go have sex in the Chinese hotel with the girl, and there's Chinese intelligence with a literal film crew.
Yeah.
Like so that means that they're gonna.
That was so
either
dumb.
be and having sex or both with and they need an entire crew.
Then,
which means
that she has a gun on her.
Yeah, it's like if she's a sex agent
if they were going to have sex, he was going to notice the gun.
Yeah.
Well, then she was going to kill him, and then they videotaped it with high quality videotaping and mic people, like actual audio guys. Like saying the whole thing is a weird thing of like, oh, so you're saying intelligence groups will videotape like it's strange, man. It gets into the whole.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the weird esoteric thing in that movie. There, I'm like, because first of all, just a little side note. That's
the Chinese though.
Yes. We have to quickly mention. We have to quickly mention was her name was Peaceful Fountains of Desire, which Style Section has pointed out in the chat, which was a great. That's got to be one of the best Bond girl names for sure.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's all they could do for the movie is to do a good Bond girl name.
Yeah, Jinx sucks as a name as well.
Oh, she was, man, I'm sorry, man. Her haircut in it, like, get out of here.
And Rosamund Pike, like, literally just calling her, like, her name was literally Miss Frost or something Frost.
Yeah,
and she's
Mrs. Frost.
And I was just, and like they are in
She's
the
cold to him.
and like in the previous film,
Yeah.
Electra King, also betrayed him. But I don't know, in this movie, it didn't even feel like it was just like so obvious the whole time. It was just not even. There wasn't even a narrative real twist to it. It was just so dumb. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, you were saying Chinese people.
Oh, I'm just saying that the if you go down the rabbit hole, the true rabbit hole of serial killers and military, there's like people in the military who killed people and went to jail for, like famous people. Doesn't matter who they are. The point is, they all have a strange connection, right down to even Jeffrey Dahmer. Is they all seem to be videotaping all their killings, and then the other question that everybody asks is, "Where's the videotapes?" Because they always disappear. Always.
Yeah. And that's something that happened with what was it? Epstein stuff, because Epstein had videotaped all the people, and the FBI said they lost them.
And they actually said they admit that. And then even like if you go, that's the whole thing. Like back in these other serial killer cases, they'll go back, and if you watch old news clips, they do mention loads of VHS videotape of actual videotaping of the killings, of sex, but the videos are always gone. They're always gone. And also the other question is why all the videotapes? Like, why are they videotaping? Like Jeffrey Dahmer had cameras all over his apartment. The point being is, why is this James Bond movie, which is a cheeseball film, has this like really, like, I mean, you wouldn't know to catch it back then. I don't know who would, unless you're an intelligence and know that. But it's like, now I look at it, I'm like, you had a crew behind a glass, and you're about to videotape Bond either just having sex and then getting killed by that woman or something. So why?
It's like
why?
It's like number one, who cares if he has sex with her? Like, what would that tape do? It's not like he's got a wife that you're gonna blackmail.
A sex operative has sex with a woman.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
it's
they're
very
making
weird.
essentially
a sex operative that uses his real name all the time. Tells people who he is.
Yeah.
It's black market snuff, man. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's like suggesting that that they're making like snuff because it's a rabbit hole.
Maybe that's what you're right.
Yeah, that's what because I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, Bond having sex with a girl means nothing, so it has to be the death. It has to be the fact that they shoot him. Like, so yeah, very bizarre.
That's a good point.
I'll ask my Chinese friend about it. He probably works for the government.
Yeah, and it was funny they had like a whole crew. Like, couldn't they just have like put a little camera in a vase or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very funny.
This is high quality stuff.
I love how when he walks into the hotel, like shirt open, like hairy chest, like just looking disheveled. Just
that's a flooded cinema like moment right there.
Yeah.
Good
yeah, that was crazy. That was the craziest moment the whole movie. And then Mr. Chang comes out and he's like, "Oh, Bond, Mr. Bond," and that was great.
Mr. Chang's a real one.
And then
that's what I need a Chinese man to.
Yeah, and then he's like, "I always knew you were a Chinese Asian Chang," which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say he has no chemistry with any of the women in this film.
No.
Is also part of the problem. I mean, the Asian woman he has a tiny bit.
I don't think Pierce Brosnan likes blonde women. He always seems to have more chemistry with brunettes. I'm just saying.
That could be it. Well, who?
And I don't think he likes.
Who does he have the best chemistry with across his films?
Probably Natalia. Or Anna Pop, even though she's a villain.
Yeah, I mean, it's just got to be because the Golden Eye is just too good.
Yeah.
Who's the? Yeah. And then like there's the first chick in Tomorrow Never Dies who's completely forgettable, like Jonathan Pryce's wife.
Oh yeah.
Who's a brunette?
Yeah, and then there's the Chinese chick.
Who's obviously brunette or black hair, darker hair.
Yeah, and then Christmas Journey. This is a bit of chemistry with Christmas. This is a bit of chemistry with Christmas Journey. Electra King actually.
She's like a dirty blonde though.
True. Well, we can.
And then Electra's brunette. See, and then when he gets to Rosamund Pike and this, who's like blonde.
It's that whole thing.
Chemistry. And then Halle Berry, she obviously has dark hair, but she also has
I mean, they have
She's
more
black.
chemistry than him and Rosamund Pike. Like, it doesn't make any sense, like, what
Yeah.
is going on there.
Yeah, because she has dark hair.
It's
She has
just,
dark
but,
hair. I just don't think he likes blondes. This is my theory,
yeah, okay, that,
with very limited evidence, but I'm sticking.
his wife is a brunette. His wife is a brunette,
Yeah.
which is a good,
See?
okay, maybe you're onto something here. Maybe
See?
you're onto something here. Oh, there's one thing, so he gets to Cuba, and there's the hilarious moment where he's at the bar and then he hears some guy like talking about how he wants to sleep.
South African.
Yeah, he wants to sleep with prostitutes or something, and for some reason he takes exception with this and like beats him up later, knocks him out. He remains.
It's not, yeah, but that's what I was saying. You can beat them up because they're South African.
And
that's how it works.
yeah, but what happens is this guy now remains blacked out from the entire journey from the hotel to wherever the hospital is, still knocked out in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And then
apparently
all
it was
he
from-
uses him for is to like push him like into an office, so there's like a 2-second distraction, so he can walk around somewhere.
to get to somewhere that those people weren't even looking at in the first place.
Like they introduced this whole little
It's really bizarre.
sub thing. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And literally the justification of why he could just punch this dude and use him as a distraction is because he's a South African who wanted to have sex with prostitutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's a whole other thing, is going into like how all the villains like around this time will always be like South African.
Yeah, yeah.
And how it even happens occasionally now, where it's like,
yeah,
we're gonna do some really dubious things to this person.
yeah, yeah.
Better make him South African.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Well, yeah, yeah. So, oh, and then we get introduced to literally the dumbest sci-fi thing maybe ever. Which is the DNA transplant surgery or whatever it is, and then there's also the dream machine,
Complete
and it's like
DNA replacement.
which
Yeah.
to be
Yeah, so Zhao has gone to this clinic to be turned into a white boy.
yeah, basically, and then so for some reason they somehow have technology where it changes
they
your
can
DNA.
completely
Why not
Change
just
your DNA.
why not
from
just
the
get
ground up.
plastic
It just
surgery?
replaces you completely.
just get plastic surgery?
Exactly. I could believe that they had some more advanced plastic surgery. It's like it's literally the same techniques, but you just be very skilled at it that you can accurately replicate
Oh yeah,
another person's face.
yeah,
You know, there's an obvious extrapolation there, where you're like, whatever, it's a very talented surgeon, you know.
yeah. You know, there was no reason to have this.
Whoever works on Joe Biden, you know, whoever does his plastic surgery, you know, that dude.
I think it was just purely
But it's
because
like-
they thought having him like be halfway through his DNA thing and looking like a
It's
weird
purely
freak.
so that he looks like that. Yeah.
So they introduced like they could have just had it that he was just an albino the whole time or something. Like they just make him like it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. So now he, on top of the diamonds in his face, Zhao now has blue eyes,
Yeah,
a pale skin, and he doesn't have blonde hair because he's bald.
yeah.
So they didn't go with that.
My question
He
is,
became-
can you think of a movie? So it happens heaps in movies where in the first 10-20 minutes of the film, the villain, something bad will happen to the villain,
Yeah.
and then they get transformed, like Joker in the original Batman, like Jack Nicholson. How many times has it happened twice in a film? Like it happens to him in the first 10 minutes, and then
Yeah,
like 30 minutes later, he goes to another horrible transformation again.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And the thing is,
It's like they couldn't make up their mind or something.
and the
I
thing
don't
is,
know.
why did he even need to undergo the DNA thing at all?
I don't know.
Like, what was the benefit of him? Because he could just be like a random henchman Chinese guy or like Korean guy. Like, it wasn't
Yeah,
like he.
and, like you could
Yeah,
you could just like fuck up his face a bit with plastic surgery. And
Yeah.
just make him look like a slightly different Chinese dude.
yeah.
Because it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't have to change it very much. It's like they're Korean, they're Asians. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, that didn't make any sense. And then they escape that facility, and then we get a taste of the horrible like CGI like blue screen or green screen effect when Halle Berry like jumps over the side of the thing into the ocean.
Yeah. So Zhao escapes the facility in a helicopter that forgets they can just go vertical instantly,
Yes.
and they awkwardly like travel along the ground so Halle Berry can shoot at them
Yeah,
and run after them.
yeah. I love that.
And then she gets stopped by the guards on the edge of this, like on the edge of this wall, and then she like takes off her Does she take off her dress before she jumps in?
Yes. To like
Yeah. So
to like dazzle them.
They just watched her. Yeah, they just watch her take it off or whatever, and then she just falls back into the ocean. And she like swims off to this boat waiting for her.
Yeah.
Because apparently it was always her plan to jump off that ledge.
Yeah.
Somehow. And then like stops there and waves at them, and the guards forget that they have projectile weapons.
Yeah. That happens a few times.
They can shoot her with. Yeah. People forget they have guns in this movie.
Yeah.
Madonna is in this movie, which drives
yeah. We have the absolute genius like song choice decision of James Bond is going to London. Let's play London Calling. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I know.
Like this
That
is
was
so
weird.
cheap, so
He's
cheap.
British.
Oh, he's in London. London Calling.
He's British. MI6 is in London. He's there all the time.
Like
This is perfect.
Imagine if they did that every time he was in Britain.
yeah.
In all these films.
Yeah.
They just played London Calling.
This movie like is as good as movies come out generally today. Like this is what the quality.
Yeah.
No,
It's
This
really-
is a good movie by today's.
no,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, this is a Disney Plus movie right now.
No way.
A lot of them are worse than this.
Are you kidding
And they
me?
do all the no,
Oh my gosh.
but they take themselves seriously.
That's right. That's right. And I don't know what this movie's
So
doing.
they aren't even fun, but they're worse. They're written worse than this, and they haven't fun to watch.
Are you kidding?
It's like I watched those new Marvel shows, and they do the same thing where all the characters forget they have guns.
Oh my.
Like there's literally scenes in like Falcon and the Winter Soldier where they have guns and they throw them away so they can have a fist fight. Just all the
Perfect.
random henchmen.
Epic.
Incredible.
Man.
What about the Icarus machine when they go to the ice palace?
No, we're
know-
skipping over the epic sword fight scene.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Why did that happen the way it did? Like I guess we know why. Well, we don't know because you don't know that he is who he is yet. Right?
yeah. That's the thing. This
Right,
movie is like the previous film. Jack was filling us in on all the little details of like what caused the next like the scenes to happen. Like okay, there's this scene and then there's this scene, and those details are there.
I can't do that because it makes no sense.
Those details were there. The details are not here at all with this movie. It is literally if it was just pure vibes. But the problem is, it just does. It's so
Vibes are
boring.
there.
It's so boring.
They
Like
have good
they have like every action scene goes for way too long. Nothing interesting happens. Like there's a sword fight scene. James Bond is sword fighting for like 10 minutes, and it's boring. Can you imagine that? And then like Madonna's there for some reason.
Oh, yeah. It's an amazing. Like he's so. Yeah, like I guess it justifies why he was, I guess, trying to kill him in the sword fight and really go at him, the British guy, to Bond, but not during the movie. During the movie, you're like, what? Or, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember if I saw that movie like brand new when it came out or not. I think the answer is no, but or maybe it did. Anyway, I just can't remember why they would go so crazy with that sword fight scene. And then after, he's like, "It's all good. Come with me over to this." Like, you know what? That's along the lines of actually James Bond because, like Goldfinger.
Yeah.
I don't know if Goldfinger kill him, but it's that whole idea where like Bond hangs out with the bad guy. Well,
Yeah.
the bad guy also knows he's Bond, and Bond knows he knows, and it's I don't know.
Yeah, but it works in
With, like,
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger has a reason for Bond. Bond plays into his plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and Goldfinger actually is like performed well.
Yeah.
Has an interesting personality. It's fun to watch him interact with Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas this dude's just a clown.
Yeah.
total clown.
Yeah. It's very
Yeah,
lame.
but
And,
And
it's
then
like
when
the
they-
whole thing about him not sleeping.
I guys, I'm pretty sure they put all their budget into those clad iron, like World War II block things, like are all over the beach and at the fort at the beginning and the surf scene. Because as the movie now, and they probably spent a lot of money to have to film at the Ice Palace because the ice people were probably like, "We're losing business."
Yeah, the
Okay, well,
Hyperboreans. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pay you this much. So then when he introduces the Icarus machine during the speech, like with all the people, regular normies, all it is like Icarus, it's like they just turned on a way too bright incandescent bulb.
Oh
Because
yeah.
they never actually showed. They never
Like-
actually showed it. They just had the light on their heads, basically.
Yeah, that was so
Like,
lame.
yeah.
Like an hour and 30 minutes into the film,
Yeah,
you finally figure out what the plot is.
and it's a space laser.
Because before that, it was literally just Bond
Right.
trying to find Zhao.
Yeah, it's
Kill him.
true. Yeah, now
That
you
was
know.
the entire plot. Bond was literally just an assassin,
And
just trying
they
to kill
did
one dude.
that. Isn't there a Bond movie in this, like an old Bond movie, where it's about diamonds in the satellites dishes? Isn't that Diamonds Are Forever? Or I don't know.
I forget exactly. A decent amount of the older ones have like some sort of space laser or like thing
Yeah,
like
this
that.
is very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Uh,
Oh, Bond. And
What's
then
Moonraker? Does Moonraker have a space laser? Moonraker has lasers because Moonraker, MI6 and the villain have a space battle. where,
Yeah,
like,
Moonraker
the
is one of,
soldiers get in like the jetpacks and start shooting lasers at each other.
yeah, it's one of the best Bond It's one of the best Bond movies, Moonraker, and yet
I'd
it's
say it's
like,
one of the most fun Bond movies.
yeah, you're right. It's one of the most fun because I know my favorite Bond movie essentially is You Only Live Twice and like Goldeneye. I mean, I love it, and even like From
Yeah.
Russia with Love. Like those are quality movies. But Moonraker, yeah, you're right. Fun, it's good. This movie is trying to like attach itself to those kind of things. It was trying to be. Wait, can I just say this Bond movie is over 2 hours long, you guys? Like,
Yeah.
did you recall
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with them? Like,
We noticed watching it.
Yeah.
I noticed too. I was watching. I'm like, this movie's over 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's too long. Yeah, we skipped over one thing of where he meets John Cleese again.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the thing is, like, he's supposed to be burned, so he's like a blacklisted agent, but he still has access to all his tools. This doesn't affect any aspect of his mission. Why even
Yeah.
have that in the film? Like, it's just an unnecessarily plot point that just complicates things
That they
and bogs it
don't
down.
use.
Yeah. And then Invisible Car, which is, look, it's a dumb, but it could have been used interestingly, or there could have been cute little moments with it.
But
They literally
do.
never use it once, except for like someone
Zhao
runs into
sees-
it. Yeah,
And then Zhao instantly goes, invisible car.
yeah,
It must be. A guy got flown off his snowmobile. There must be an invisible car there.
Yeah, exactly.
What a genius. Yeah, and then they have their like shitty car battle where they both have their like souped up cars
yes,
with all the gadgets, and then Bond beats him by just pitting him in the rear
yeah.
and just spitting him out. And then they go inside the ice palace. And then
Wait, no, you wait.
Yeah,
We're jumping ahead a bit here.
Yeah, I know,
Let's
we're
not
jumping way
let's not
ahead, but I
cover
don't
too
care
much.
anymore.
But let's just take it one section at a time. All right. So
Alright. Alright.
we've had stuff in London, which is extremely dumb and boring, and then we get to the ice palace, right? So normally in a Bond film, right, there's a certain there's a certain certain formula and certain types of scenes that happen. So you have heaps. One of the main types of scenes is Bond infiltrates the facility, finds out what's going on, the guards get alerted, he escapes, or maybe he gets captured and then he escapes, or something along those lines, basically. This movie, he just dicks around this facility for 40 minutes, just goes in and out of it willy-nilly. It's very unclear, like, do the guards know he's there? Do they care? Why aren't they on high alert? Like, what is going on? And it's just, like, incomprehensibly boring, and then it ends, and you think that's the end of the movie, and then there's, like, another 20 minutes in the airplane.
Mhm.
Oh man, and that whole facility looked so horrible. It's like, why do they have that little tropical biome thing? Is that to like produce food? It was unclear what was going on there.
Yeah.
And then the dumbest thing of ever is that it was literally made out of ice. It wasn't like a facility. It wasn't like glass and like there's metal and whatnot, and then it just has a facade of looking like ice. It was literally made of ice because when they hit it with the ice laser, it melts. The fire laser or whatever. Oh man, that movie is so dumb. What I mean, is there anything else you want to say about that? Other than I guess we find out the British guy has been transmogrified of the Korean guy.
The British dude was the North Korean general Bond killed at the beginning.
And it's like, what's the deal with this British guy? Like, is he rich, or why is he a billionaire that has a space laser all of a sudden? Like, it didn't make any sense.
Apparently after the Korean dude died, he got DNA replacement into a white British dude who wasn't a pre-existing guy.
Yeah.
This is a completely new person, and he somehow became a billionaire.
Multi-billionaire. Hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Doesn't make any sense. Why did he even need to change into the guy, other than to have a really dumb twist?
And
it's like the dream machine,
laser
the dream machine
to attack South Korea with.
And it's like, what has the dream machine got to do with the DNA thing?
It wasn't necessary at all.
And it's like, why is it he can't sleep? That's like supposed to be a cool thing. Like, oh, he doesn't sleep.
It has no relevance to the plot at all. It's retarded. Should be.
Is it supposed to scare you? Like, I don't get it. It doesn't. He doesn't sleep. I don't get it.
And that's like, that's how he became so rich.
The writers thought that was cool or something, I think.
Alright, let's what are the notes that I have here?
He doesn't sleep. That's really bad.
Oh yeah, and then Rosamund Pike is whatever.
Who is...
Oh, we skipped over the second surfing thing where he's getting chased by the laser in the car.
Well, that's another thing. Is like Bond. What is it? Bond has sex with Rosamund Pike's character.
Oh, we forgot about that.
Randomly.
Yeah.
It's not necessary at all. He just has sex with her in the middle of a mission.
Yeah.
Like literally, he had just been chased, and he just says, "We're gonna have sex now."
Like, surely the guards would be on high alert. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I have the laser fight.
Yeah.
With the the little laser machines that he has for some reason.
Yeah.
Despite typically saying before that this isn't an actual mine.
Yeah, so why do they have the laser? And
But
this is the other thing.
have the laser machine.
The end result of him sleeping with Rosamund Pike is literally she takes the bullets out of his gun. That's all that comes from it.
Yeah.
Like, surely you could have done that and not have to have sex with him. And it's not like with Electra King where there's established like a certain weird psychosexual...
Or just actually have a reason for him to have sex with her.
Yeah, but yeah, like Electra King, it fits with her character because she's got weird stuff going on.
He literally finds out that, from his perspective, she's working with him. So it's like you're not seducing him for any reason.
Yeah, they're on the same team, so why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember how what was it? Yeah, Halle Berry gets into the facility from like the ceiling. She goes down that line. She gets captured. And what is it? They have the fight in that laser room.
Yeah.
He wins. But then later, after after he gets captured, Rosamund Pike reveals that she's a villain, and he escapes with the ring.
Yeah.
And then he runs out, and the cable that Halle Berry used to escape is still there because they're so retarded they didn't remove it.
Yeah.
And so he can use that to escape.
And Style Section just pointed out one of the dumb one-liners is when he's escaping in that like land speed record machine thing.
That is just there open that he can get in.
He says, "Oh hey boss, he beat your best time," like this. And there's so many henchmen, and like the other henchman called Mr. Kill. I actually didn't mind that. I thought that was kind of cool. It's just so.
Is that the black dude?
He's like Maori or something.
He gets the laser.
Yeah. He's like Polynesian. Yeah. But yeah, that.
But yeah, that's another thing is Bond just randomly goes in and out of the facility.
Yeah.
Like he's running away and he just gets in this land speed skate jet powered thing. I don't know where he's going, but he's just going somewhere.
Yeah.
And then that's where the villain gets out his space laser. And just
see, I don't know why
somehow has the ability to pinpoint it that accurate to follow Bond and thing.
Yeah. And
then gets absurdly close, and somehow Bond doesn't just spontaneously combust.
Yeah, because it'd be so hot. Anyway.
Yeah.
And
then when he goes off the edge of that, like,
oh yeah,
that cliff, that icy shelf.
Yeah.
And like he's hanging there, and the space laser literally just stops in one spot.
Mm.
and it's like
Yeah.
drilling.
And then he
the
takes
ice or
the
whatever.
like the top of the thing, and then he surfs the wave.
Yeah, and then he has a surfing thing because the edge of the shelf falls off and creates a wave.
And now we go, oh wait, he already knows how to surf. It's cool. Like as if
Yeah,
we
because the opening scene. Yeah,
yeah, but we don't. That's the thing about James Bond. You don't need to like have that stuff explained when
I
Bond.
could buy that he knew how to surf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Just get rid of both of those scenes, though.
yeah, I still don't want the surfing scene in there.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's just they should have had this facility be the finale. I don't know why they just complicated everything. Like,
Because you've got to take the space laser to Korea. I don't know.
why
And
even
then
have that
what
whole
is it?
Korean element? Just have him be a rich British
Then
guy
he-
that
and then he
has a
goes
space
back
laser.
to the base, and then he goes, yeah, exactly. And then he goes back to the base, and that's when he gets his invisible car.
Oh yeah.
And they have and the dude on the snowmobile hits his invisible car. Zhao goes, there must be an invisible car there.
Yeah.
And they get into their cars and have the chase,
Yeah. All right.
where they fire all their weapons at each other, and none of them work.
Yeah.
So Bond just literally rams him in the ass, spins him out, and then they have their chase inside the palace, which is actually kinda cool.
I like that. That was actually cool seeing the buildings in the thing. Yeah. That reminded me of like a Batman thing or something,
Yeah.
which was kind of
And
cool.
then what is it? They're driving around on ice perfectly fine.
Oh
And then you
yes.
see later in the ice palace that Bond's car has traction,
Yes.
and he just used it to like stop on this slope because
Yeah, that
Zhao.
was so dumb.
I forget if he runs out of bullets or whatever, but he just decides to
use
activate these blades on the front of his
forklift thing,
car
yeah.
and just ram into Bond. And so what? Bond just drives down and like stops on the embankment, and Zhao just shoots off
Yeah.
into the icy pool.
Yeah. And then rather than shooting Zhao, he shoots the chandelier
Yeah,
above
he
him.
makes this Rube Goldberg death machine by shooting the chandelier onto him, rather than just driving by and just shooting him in the head or something.
Yeah.
Because that would be like too brutal for Bond, I guess. He has to have like some
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, but then write it in
Like
such a
degree
way
of
that
separation.
he cannot shoot him for some reason. Like have a reason, logistical reason why he can't just shoot him in the head. Anyway, that movie.
But yeah.
And then for some reason that's not the end of the movie. For some reason we have another like 25 minutes where we have to reset the tension or again by having a stupid scene with Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to go into too much detail. Basically, they're on the plane. He is wearing like a weird gamer armor now. The villain, he's got the glasses.
Oh, he looks so bad.
Yeah. Oh, and do you remember that bit earlier? They introduced like for some reason they have Bond has the virtual reality glasses,
Oh, yeah.
and they literally only come back for the very end where Moneypenny is like fantasizing about sleeping with him.
I did find that funny. That was funny.
It was funny, but what was the
Dumb.
point? What was the point?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, to like show that there's this technology that doesn't actually exist, which is like high-end virtual reality, not terrible virtual reality.
I don't know. That's so
Like
dumb.
that's all it was. It was showcasing.
They get onto the plane, and the Korean dude who's transmogrified into a white British dude has his father on there, and he's showing him the power of the space laser.
And then for some reason, his father, rather than saying, "Oh, this is so cool, this is awesome," he's like, "This is too far. You've gone too far, my son."
We destroyed a capital P.
Yeah.
He goes,
Mid-
"This is too far," and like then he shoots his dad, and we were like, and I was like, "Dude, this is a pressurized airplane.
Yeah.
You have a suit that electrifies people.
Yeah.
Just like knock him out or something. Don't fire a gun in a plane."
Yeah.
And then they show later that they're aware that you shouldn't shoot guns in planes because someone else does,
Yeah.
and it
Depressurized.
depressurizes the plane.
Yeah.
And then we made the joke that it's like North Koreans are so short that they're like so
Oh,
dense
yeah.
they can stop bullets or something.
Yeah. They've got greater density. Yeah. Then there's Halle Berry fights
But yeah.
Rosamund Pike.
That is funny because like because earlier in the film they had this guy's idea was to use hovercrafts to go over the landmines in the demilitarized zone.
Yeah.
Which is dumb. Landmines still, hovercrafts still set off landmines.
Yeah.
But but that's apparently their plan fell through or whatever, and they give you a close up of the space laser destroying the landmines.
Yeah.
It's like you have a space laser. The landmines don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the issue.
Yeah.
Destroy the capital of South Korea. Destroy the capital of America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can forget about that other stuff. Yeah.
Don't worry about the landmines anymore.
Yeah. And that whole landmine thing, anyway, it was just so everything. They just kept adding more and more like weird little elements to it, like the DNA thing, the fact that he's burned, the fact Rosamund Pike's a 00 agent, which she didn't even necessarily need to be for this to work.
They didn't make her 00, but she's an MI6.
Oh, okay. Oh, whatever. Yeah, she's MI6.
That's autistic distinction.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Okay.
She didn't even need to be MI6 necessarily for it to work. And then it's too confusing because she's MI6, then Halle Berry's CIA, and then you've got Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
It's just so much is going on. None of it makes any sense. None of it works together.
No.
I'm just trying to think.
Like Bond and the British Korean dude have a pretty shitty fight.
Yeah, and that's the end of the movie.
Where-
That's it. I'm done.
Where he uses his electric suit thing.
Yeah.
The
And,
woman.
what is it? The plane goes like basically into the space laser almost. It's really weird how it's shot. You can't actually tell
Yeah. What's going
like
on?
what the relationship of the plane is to the laser.
Yeah.
But either way, the plane gets fucked up. Like it's gonna crash or whatever.
Yeah.
And the British Korean dude's gonna like parachute out. The Bond pulls his parachute out early,
Yeah.
and so he like goes into the engine. Halle Berry has like a fight. She tries to stabilize the plane after the pilots die, and like Rosamund Pike like comes up behind her and tells her to put it on autopilot
Yes.
whilst they're right near the space laser, and that's why they fly into it. Because Rosamund Pike's character's a retard,
Yeah.
and rather than just forcing Halle Berry at knife point
To land
to
the
fly
plane or
away from
fly
space
wherever.
laser
Yeah.
or something, yeah. She just goes, put it on autopilot. I want to have a sword fight with you.
And hadn't the plane already been depressurized at this point?
Yeah.
So you might as well
depressurized.
shoot her anyways. Like, what difference does it make if you've got a sword or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'll be fine with her wanting to use a sword if the plane was pressurized.
Yeah.
But it's like
See, then that would be a
It's already
cool.
happened.
Then that would be a
Shoot her.
cool scene. Like, oh, they're fighting with swords because they can't use their guns. Like, have them both come into that room with all the swords, point their guns at each other, and then like both realize, or one of them says, like, we can't shoot each other because of the plane. Then they fight with the swords.
Yeah.
See, that's how you set up this
Yeah.
action scene, rather than you already have the plane depressurized. Like, everything is out of order. Like, this is such a bad movie.
yeah.
I'm so done with it. The only other thing I want to say
And then
was
Halle Berry stabs her in the chest with a knife that is literally has
The Art of War?
on it.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
like-
knife was stabbed through the Art of War.
And it's like
So
number
yeah.
one,
There
number
was a
one,
knife.
Sun Tzu was Chinese. Number two, it literally never gets it gets mentioned like one other time in the movie.
Yeah.
Like very just offhandedly. There's no thematic connection other than it's just this is like a Asian fight thing.
Yeah. And then the plane luckily has a helicopter in the back, and so they just dump that out whilst they're in it and just
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah, so yeah. And then the last dumb
Space laser turns off somehow.
yeah.
It just stops working or whatever.
And then the last dumb thing is then he's having sex with Halle Berry again, which again this should have just been the first time they slept together because this makes sense. It's at the end of the movie. That's how you end the Bond movie. He has the girl at the end. Like it didn't
Yeah.
anyway.
Exactly.
And then the dumb thing is, of course, they're having sex on a pile of diamonds, which would like cut into them.
Yeah.
And that was very
Like,
Catwoman-esque.
She's getting turned on. Yeah, she's getting turned on just from the diamonds.
Yeah, I thought that was very Catwoman. That was
Oh.
very strange. Alright, well look, I'm done. I'm so done. Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie?
No.
No.
Rude.
Alright, well.
these were not the greatest of Bond flicks in the end, and so it had to be.
Yeah.
It's tough. You got to get through the tough ones. These are the tough ones. It's Pierce Brosnan. We love Pierce Brosnan, but
Yeah. It's too bad they just didn't get better directors and better scripts, and he could have had he's got one of the best of all time. We can't fault him. GoldenEye is pretty much a perfect action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you've got two middling movies, and then you've got one of the worst movies. That's the worst Bond film.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. It probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
There might be one of the older ones I'm forgetting about, but even then I don't think they get... Even the more silly ones of them, I don't think get this ridiculous.
I mean, the thing is, it's not even the ridiculousness is the issue, it's just incoherence.
Yeah.
It's completely incoherent, and it's not fun, and it's badly directed.
Yeah.
And one other thing I do want to mention was the editing is horrible in this movie.
Yeah, there's some awful editing.
And it's like, we hardly ever talk about editing on this show, because it's one thing to talk about cinematography, but it's when you get into editing, then you're getting a bit pretentious. But like this movie, the editing is so noticeably bad that yeah, it is just shocking. And like particularly the action scenes, a lot of the editing is really bad. Like I know that car scene, when it's him versus Zhao in the green car, like out on the ice, the editing was horrible there. It was like so incoherent what was happening, the way they put the shots together and everything. Like yeah, all the action scenes, the editing was really bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Horrible movie. Horrible movie. And you say there are movies that are worse than this now. I cannot believe you.
Well, do you want to watch one of the new Marvel movies?
No. Okay. Is Captain Marvel worse than this?
I hate it more, but it might actually not be as poorly written.
Did you watch the Eternals?
The characters... No, because I gave up. I like some of those movies.
Alright.
There's like two great ones, a few good ones, and then the rest are just absolute awful garbage.
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel is one of them, and I heard the Eternals was one of them, and it looked like it. So I told you like the basic plot of it. So.
The question is, what's a worse film, Die Another Day or Live and Let Die? Now I know the answer is pretty easy. It's that Die Another Day is worse, but it's like that. It's like they peaked out at just like.
Live and Let Die, I remember, has a good song. Like
That's true.
I remember that movie is like a blaxploitation film.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a blaxploitation film. Which
but
is
I don't
so
remember enough of the film to actually say whether it's good or not. I definitely remember enjoying it.
No.
I mean, to have a James Bond movie, most of the set piece be in like a ghetto or whatever, like it's just not cool. But yeah, no, Die Another Day is the worst Bond film. I think that's easy to say.
Wow.
Like Austin Powers is better as a Bond movie.
We were saying that. Yeah.
Unironically, the first Austin Powers is less retarded. Like
I'd say all three of them. All three of them are less retarded.
Probably, yeah.
Like certainly the first one, with like a minor tweaks, could unironically be. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. They're just so good. I like the Austin Powers movies. I wish we were talking about those movies right now.
Yes.
Those movies. There's characters that you like. There's chemistry, great chemistry between...
Unironically more coherent, despite being like absurdist parodies.
Well, it's just the scripts are so... The scripts,
makes more sense.
Particularly for that first one, the script is so tight. And then... anyway, whatever, it's just so... Oh, that Die Another Day. That was brutal. Getting to the end of that ice section and then realizing there's like another 25 minutes to go. I checked out.
Yeah.
I checked out. Like completely in that ending bit. It was so dumb. That was so unpainful. So we've got style section here is saying Captain Marvel is bad, but Die Another Day is worse. Yeah. And he also says he's also saying Live and Let Die was Roger Moore's first film. Give the man a pass. Or he gets a pass. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Fine.
Like even like the old ones that can be like silly and goofy and kind of bad in terms of the overall plot. like they're still fun, and the characters usually likable and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think this movie shows that you need more than just Pierce Brosnan to carry a film. Or he just
Sadly, yeah.
I think he just was not
But
into
even
it.
then, he wasn't on form in this film anyway.
I think he just either the director he didn't like or something, because it's everyone is just maybe they had fun making it, but
Maybe, yeah.
it was just really really bad, really bad. I want to look. What's that Pierce Brosnan movie where he plays an assassin? That's not.
Oh, I know what you're talking.
It's like it came out relatively in the last 10 years.
The November Man, I think.
Is that what it's called?
If I remember that off the top of my head.
Oh, are you talking about the one where he's like the
Yeah, I think it
Panama spy or the assassin? Yeah, that Jack, you're talking about the right one. And then there was another movie that came out in the same time where he was like a spy, but an actual like legitimate British spy, which is basically just a person who lies and uses people and has no capabilities to like fight or anything.
November Man.
They're just
it's got Olga Kurylenko in it, who plays the Bond girl in Quantum of Solace. Unless I'm wrong about that.
oh.
She's a very beautiful woman.
She's a very
yeah.
beautiful woman. She's Ukrainian, I believe, and she's Ukrainian.
okay.
And also, in addition to that, she is like one of the only people that went to like one of Trump's like dinner things, like out of the entertainment industry.
That's awesome.
Oh, she's at the new like.
She's like friends with Melania or
Widow
something.
film. She's in Black
Okay.
Widow. She's like the secondary antagonist.
Oh, okay.
Taskmaster, who's actually like a cool villain.
Wait, what?
Because what his powers are is he can.
Oh wait, we're
copy
talking about Marvel
people's-
things. I do not want to hit. No,
Yeah.
no, do not. No, stop. We're not talking about Lemar. You can.
It'll make you
You can
laugh.
make no.
It's funny.
Fine.
It's funny.
One time I'm letting you do this.
And like he's kind of cool because he can like copy people's moves. Like he can analyze how they fight,
So it's like
replicate them, then beat them.
It's like
Who's
Sherlock
this?
Holmes. Discombobulate.
Kind of Taskmaster, yeah. But like in that movie, it's so obviously a man. Like has the build of a man throughout that whole film.
Yeah.
And then they take his mask off at the end, and then it's just Olga Kurylenko's face.
Oh, that's funny.
CGI'd on.
That's funny.
That's right.
It's incredible.
Remember that.
Oh my gosh. I'm never letting you talk about Marvel again. That was not worth it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Bond.
Yeah. There's been a few. I'm looking at his IMDb now. Anyway, let's wrap this up. All right. So, I think the conclusion is you should watch Goldeneye, and then if you're into Bond movies, I guess watch the other ones. I like The World Is Not Enough. That was my second favorite of the four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you guys put as second best?
I just have a nostalgia to Tomorrow Never Dies. So,
Yeah.
but I do agree. I don't disagree really with with that ranking, but I just have it's more of my nostalgia for Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah. Jack.
I don't know if I could pick one.
They're pretty
Probably The World Is
similar.
Not Enough. Yeah.
They're extremely similar in quality. It's yeah.
Actually, probably Tomorrow Never Dies because of the helicopter motorcycle chase.
Yeah, that is actually legitimately very good scene. But yeah, Goldeneye is like a 9 out of 10 movie. And then the next two are like 6, and then Die Another Day is like 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10, honestly. That was so bad.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, because everyone says, oh, that movie sucks. I was expecting it to be like, oh, it's fine. But it was not. It wasn't fine. It wasn't even fine. It was just in disbelief. All right.
And now I think the investigation is complete. We know why. It's because they went in a completely different direction.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
No.
I'm done.
All right. Yes.
I'm done.
That was exhausting, honestly. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.